I wasn't in the pit. You were in the pit. We all were in the pit.
Welcome back to AsArt with Nick and John. We post 3 videos a week. Hit that subscribe button to stay updated and visit asart.space for all the audio and video links. John, we love HBO Max. We did a whole thing of saying how it's worth it. We'll put that video link here. We've watched Watchmen. Yes. We watched His Dark Materials.
Bam. Game of Thrones
We've watched, but we have not talked about. But we've discussed a lot of different.
And the funny thing is Nick got me on all of these. I would have not watched a single one, including Game of Thrones. He's like, you gotta watch it.
Yes.
So I was quite behind on Raised by Wolves. Nick told me about it a few times. Took him a couple weeks.
I know. I was like, dude, come on, we gotta film.
I was like, I can't do another series. And finally, I went to go visit my parents. That's why we're able to like hang out in person. And I'm like,
we both took a COVID test. We're good.
Yeah, we both took a COVID test before I came out. So the cool thing was, like, I sat down with my family. I'm like, watch an episode, see if we like it or not. My dad liked it, so we kept watching it. And so we just got in line perfectly with the last episode, which is really, really cool. So we're this episode is just going to be kind of episode recap, and then we're going to get into crazy theories in another video where we kind of
John's an expert when it comes to anything.
He is not, but yeah, it'll be fun stuff. So this is more about the particular episode, but if you want to go deeper, try and think of if you have theories and what our theories are and stuff like that. We're going to be digging into that in another video as well.
So let's just jump into it.
Yeah, let's go into this episode.
So Marcus, right? He starts off in the middle of nowhere. He has an eyeball in his mouth still, I'm guessing. I don't know. But then
by the way, if anybody has any theories, why the guy stuffed an eyeball down his throat? That was my biggest question last episode. Not that he got beat up, not that he almost died, that he has an eyeball and like, okay.
It's very interesting. It's like, are they planning to give him powers?
Is that his final FU? Like, eat an eyeball. I'm like, what is that? So anyway.
It's like choke on this.
Yeah,
and he kind of gets visions.
Well, you mean talking about the season or just in this episode?
No, in this episode.
I mean,
like,
in this
it's kind of vision-y, or is he just like high on like a drug almost because of...
I mean, in this episode, he seemed just completely
dehydrated.
Weird. Dehydrated, gone completely insane. He's seeing stuff that's not there. He's thinking certain people are other people. It just, he didn't make any sense this episode, I don't think.
I don't think the last couple episodes, I haven't liked his character arc. Yeah. It's been like, I liked when he was like smart and he was like the leader. He's like, oh, we're going to attack her when she's in this thing. I was like, oh, cool. Then once he started hearing the voices, it kind of got like, not when he heard the voices, but when he went like full deep into the religion.
Full deep, yeah.
Like that's where it's just kind of like his character in the last couple episodes. I hope he gets back to his more level-headed stuff.
It was kind of when he stopped hearing the voices, right?
Yeah, I guess, and he went crazy.
Yeah. But it seems like that's a theme they're setting up in this show is, because the first guy that had the helmet on, he's like, oh, I used to hear the voices. Now he favors you. Don't do anything to disappoint him or you'll stop hearing the voices. And as soon as he allowed what he thought was the android to be dropped down the pit, he stopped hearing the voices and then it went to, someone else. Yeah. So it's like, that brings us whole back to the whole theories thing. We'll get into another video, but
I want to talk a lot about
his character hasn't been nearly as relatable or nearly as interesting. And he was after episode 2 or 3, he was my favorite character, I would say. Yeah. But now he's kind of faded out. So
very religious themes in this episode. When you say
I mean in all of them, but you definitely
especially with the snakes in this episode.
Yeah, so we'll get into that.
He's walking. He's in the desert. He thinks he sees Hunter. And he looks, and the hand he shoved into the temple thing now has a snake on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I didn't remember. That was the same hand he shoved into there. That's right.
Yeah, and there's like a snake on it kind of thing. So it's like, it's interesting. So, but it was like a lot of foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you think it was going to be a snake, the baby? I had no idea that was coming. Like that caught me off guard 100%. I thought it was gonna be like a deformed or like half something, like something that's like not right kind of thing because of like the process and all that stuff.
It's half android, half biological,
or something crazy. You know what I mean? Like, and it was so interesting to see that. I was shocked. Like I was just like, what the heck?
It didn't make any sense. None whatsoever, aside from we have these huge holes that snakes had come
And
from.
we
at some
have
point.
giant skeletons.
Yeah, and we have John Scott. So in that regard, it wasn't completely out of nowhere. But I'm only going to mention this not in the theories one, but in this one as well because it was in the episode. We got these skulls that look just like the architects, kind of like those elephant-like suits that the architects used to transport in Prometheus. So it's like he's almost like.
Oh, I was talking about the giant snakes.
Yes.
Skeletons.
Yeah. No.
on the
Yeah.
planet,
Yeah.
Right?
I'm kind of jumping around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. Go on though about
No. Yeah.
Prometheus.
So we're getting all kinds of different stuff. So we have the snakes.
Overload almost, right? Like an overload, like too much, too fast.
To me, and this is not getting into like overall theories, but as from a story standpoint, they're giving themselves so many threads they could go down. They can just pick and choose which ones they want, and then just they can let the other ones go.
They're at a buffet. An all-you-can-eat buffet. They got sushi. They got fried chicken.
They've got snakes.
They got snakes. They got alligators.
But this is the reason I didn't watch the show Lost after season 1 is I read that it got very weird and they threw in all kinds of weird stuff just to keep you watching and get an explanation. And then when they ended out all the seasons, they never finished those threads and people seemed unhappy about that.
You know what's so funny? I went back and I rewatched Lost recently. Did I tell you that?
No, you watched a whole, how many seasons was that?
I watched the whole thing. I skipped a little bit because I know the story. I think I liked it the second time I viewed it. So because I think I made more connections. If you want us to do Lost stuff, let us know. I would love to get John on that. Okay, so a lot of Adam and Eve metaphors. We have mother, father, and now it's like it nails in the Adam and Eve with the snake.
Yeah. And you have to think about it too is, so she thought she was seeing their creator in the simulation, but he bit her neck like a vampire, remember? And then now we have this snake come out. It's like, all right, it's very much Adam and Eve, like this is the devil or whatever. So a lot of allegory to biblical stuff and things like that. And of course, this show is all about that from the get-go of theology and things like that, and religion and stuff. So it's not out of place in this. It's just weird all the different directions they're throwing you.
This is kind of like a fun theory thing, but do you watch, how far into Rick and Morty are you?
I think season 3 or 4.
Have you seen the snake world?
I don't think I've seen.
Oh, dang it. Okay, well, there's a world inhabited by snakes.
I don't know if you guys know, but
I
I just got to Pickle Rick, so wherever that is how far I last saw it. Yeah, Pickle Rick.
There's like a world inhabited by like intelligent snakes. I think that's what's going on here. I think the snakes or whatever are intelligent and they can fly, and that's how they communicate. Or like a parasite snake, right? Like they can talk and communicate, and it's interesting because they can communicate to other life forms. But they only can communicate to robots, I think, in the system, though.
So now, Nick, I want to know, do you think there's a crossover? Because Nick tries to compare it. You think there's a crossover between Rick and Morty?
Well, technically, there's so many universes in Rick and Morty. There could be a crossover.
You know, that actually makes sense.
If there's any show I can cross over with, it's Rick and Morty. Yeah. But it's very interesting because is it okay if I jump a little bit into theory
stuff? Yeah, of course. We'll keep the deep dives for another video, but we'll jump into theories because you can't help at the end of this.
With the snake, right? Yeah. And so I believe the snake is talking to everyone. The snakes or whatever. There could be multiple snakes. And every time someone first hears the voice that we know of, we only know through Marcus and Paul, I think. Yeah. Like Paul's the first time he's underneath the snake skull.
Yeah.
Right? Remember how they're like, he's looking up at the snake skull and then like everything gets weird and that's when he starts.
Marcus. That's Marcus.
Marcus. I'm sorry. Yes. Marcus. Did I say Hunter by accident?
You said Paul.
Paul. Oh, yeah. Paul also hears it in the cave too, I think, right?
I think he did maybe, yeah.
But, yeah, both times, because I think he heard it in the cave and he had those cards and he burnt the cards or something like that.
Yeah, he burnt the cards, yeah.
But like, everything has to do, I think, with the snakes and stuff. So we have Neanderthals on the planet, right?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask you about. So you guys, hopefully you've seen the episode if you're watching this, because I don't know why you'd be otherwise. But so mother and father, this Neanderthal type guy tries to push mother into the snake pit.
Probably to kill mother. Don't you think?
Because, I don't know. I mean,
maybe
we're assuming.
Well, I think, I thought he was trying to kill mother because snakes probably take over. It looks like all the snakes died out because they might have leached on all the life forms there. Because there's no life forms there, really. Yeah. The only things left are these, like, weird humanoid creatures that they eat, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing we've seen other than bones of snakes and this the couple of, I don't know if it's the same guy or different humans that jump around.
Yeah,
and
they've
stuff.
been moving around.
So maybe the snakes all died out because they had nothing to feed on.
Oh, that could be.
Right,
I mean,
and then maybe the Neanderthal wanted to destroy it so the snake doesn't come back. But now we have this fat, juicy snake and a planet of a ship of thousands of atheists coming. So it's like, oh no, this is going to be the rebirth of Snake Planet from Rick and Morty.
So trying to keep within the
let's get back to the story. I'm sorry.
So, no, this is fun stuff. So trying to keep within the episode. So the snake, you just think it's some intelligent being.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. I think it's a evolved. You know how like there's like the theory of like we evolved from apes. Mm-hmm. Think of like the snakes evolved, apes evolved on this planet, and then snakes evolved maybe faster at a higher rate than them, and then they leached off.
We're getting into theory. We need to.
But this is full theory stuff. Yeah. And then I think that's what happened, and maybe only preys on strong-minded creatures. And remember how they mentioned something about a de-evolved form of humans?
Yeah.
So maybe like instead of evolving, maybe their whole thing was in order to protect them from the snake creatures was to be not dumber, but like reduce their intelligence so the snake can't prey on them or something like that.
We'll keep more of this for the theories episode. Because Nick just went way off the deep. Here's episode. He fell off the cliff into the theory pit. So
we fell into the pit. First of all, John hates anything that starts with an S. He's scared of sharks. He's wearing a shark shirt. Yeah. Snakes. Spiders.
Sharks, snakes, John, spiders, syringes. Yes.
Are you freaked out that there's a flying snake?
That's the first thing Nick said. He goes, you know what's most terrifying about this whole thing? Like what? Flying snakes. And then I thought about like, great, I'm going to have nightmares tonight.
Can you imagine that if we had flying snakes?
No, don't let me think about that.
You think birds are scary? There's moving up with that. All right. I just have like, didn't see the snake baby coming. That was my notes.
Did not see the snake baby. And this is not getting into theories and stuff, but I don't know how much input really Scott put into this, but he has chest bursters. We almost got a chest burster, but instead we got to come out the mouth. He's had that in Prometheus.
He loves his weird bursts.
So again, we don't know. He's an executive producer on this show, but I don't know how deep he was into writing the episodes.
I think he was like, there has to be an awkward birth scene.
But really, really funky.
Let's talk about Prometheus, right?
We'll keep it for the theories.
Well, I thought it was interesting, the helmet. You don't want to talk about the helmet?
Yeah, we'll talk about the helmet. Okay. Yeah.
I just thought, like, design-wise, we don't have to go into theories like how they connect, which we might go into another video. Subscribe. We're going to go deep. Down the pit. But I thought it was very interesting, the helmet design. I was like, that's totally from Prometheus. And even like after they took it off, how there's like a human.
Yeah,
like,
and that's what I was kind of talking about earlier that confused you, where it kind of had that, that front thing where it looked kind of like almost like an elephant thing. Did they just throw it in there to mess with people?
Maybe.
I
think so. I think it's to connect the universes. I mean, that's always fun for a writer.
And we'll get into this more in the theories one and just like our total tangents. But yeah, so I mean, if you guys think that they're trying to tie these together, that'd be interesting to hear about. I honestly thought that at the end, the pod was just going to keep going into space. And that's somewhere on some planets how we got the alien type stuff. Is it was gonna crash land like we always have in Prometheus and Alien. It was gonna crash land somewhere, but then it came back down onto the planet it was on, and it did get ridiculously big, way too big, especially since it wasn't getting any blood or anything.
Maybe by going through the Earth's core, it like boosts something. I don't know, power boost. Gandalf got it when Gandalf fell down the pit with the Balrog, and he came out Gandalf the White. So he was great, Gandalf the White. Power upgrade.
One fun thing. One of my favorite shots. I don't know why. One of my favorite shots in Lord of the Rings is Two Towers when Gandalf's finding the Balrog, and it goes this wide shot, and you see that the two of them just kind of lit going down in this darkness. And this one we got a cool shot where the pod's going to the planet core. And that was kind of
beautiful
a cool shot as well. Yeah, really, really beautiful shot.
It was just, I don't want to say it felt like the effects weren't top notch in this show compared to other HBO shows.
Certain shots seemed really, really cool. Other shots, not quite as much. Yeah, so it's interesting.
Yeah, but that was beautiful.
Yeah, that was a really, really beautiful shot.
I think the last couple episodes looked really good overall.
So since we're just talking about the season finale, and we'll just briefly talk about where you think the series is going. Without getting too crazy here, do you think the next part of season 2, it's going to be mother and father separate? Because they're literally on the other side of the world now. Do you think they're going to be separated from the group for a good while?
I mean, they're going to have to come back sooner or later. I don't know. They can't fly back. Mother doesn't have her powers now.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that,
to kill the snake.
Who has the?
Well, one of the eyes is in what's his name's gut.
Yeah, why would
Marcus's
you
gut.
feed him
and then
eye?
maybe the other one's still in that little ball sack that he wears around his neck.
It's very okay. With that,
I always remember him like a weird, like it looks so weird around his neck.
and with that, if you want more content not ball sack related, check out AsArt.space for the audio and video links. We're gonna be doing a spoiler review. Not gonna talk about that, and we'll see you on the next AsArt.
We're having a ball sack.
Guys.